We might not. Ooh, that was banging. Here we go. Let me see.
Damn,
I gotta make this live. I'm doing things.
Look at it. We have our. Look at that. Oh.
You like those? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that sweat? Jai Guy's been building out sweet stuff.
Jai Guy.
Jesus. Here we go. All right.
What's up, Dan?
I'm not in France. That's what's not up.
Well, I'll tell you what. Be glad you're not. This place is not that great.
Are you're being serious right now?
Oh yeah.
He doesn't love France.
No, I don't like France. And I say that like very lightly. Like I'm grateful for being here right now. But France? No. Like maybe do a layover real quick and get out, get a crepe, a croissant.
I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I went to France. Like I studied in England for a semester when I was in college and went to France, did the Paris thing. And it was like, it's just kind of like, there's nothing outstanding about it. Some people think it's the coolest place. And I was like, man, I think every other place I went was cooler.
Come say hi, Hope.
Yeah, the food subpar, the people.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Yep.
Hello.
What's happening, Hildy?
You're live.
Who is that?
I don't know. Some stranger.
I know.
Lady.
Seriously.
We're live on the show. We're going to
What up, people?
Yeah.
Live from France.
We're going to Disneyland tomorrow, though.
It'll be interesting to see how Disney is over there compared to Disney here. Do you expect it to be the same Disney in, or do you think it'll be?
I expect to run into you again.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out of nowhere and we're just gonna be like, everybody, selfie. Okay, bye.
There's a lot of the same rides. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a Paris version of them, and I think some things are in French and.
Yeah, Ratatouille is supposed to be a good one, but
Ratatouille is cool, but is it different in French because it's French?
I would hope it's better.
I say it's supposed to be really good here. So.
What about Slinky Dog Dash? Do they use a different style of bun?
So the funny thing is, not funny, interesting. When I was looking up, I need to, we don't have anyone that like plans out our day. You know how you have to have somebody plan out your day. So I just downloaded the app, but there's rides so Disney World, there's 4 parks, and there's like the highlights of all 4 parks in 2 parks that are right across from each other.
Oh, interesting.
So like there's Tower of Terror is here. And the Slinky one, there is that. And isn't that at Universal? Or not Universal?
Slinky Dog Dash is at Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios, yeah.
And
so
Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain too.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain is my favorite roller coaster of all time, I think. As far as just like a straight line roller coaster, it's just badass coaster.
This one's supposed to be the best Big Thunder Mountain of all of the Disney parks. It goes like underground, and so anyway, we'll see.
It's funny that they're different in different places.
Yeah,
I suppose why not? Oh no, I'm not thinking of Big Thunder. Big Thunder was fun, but Mount Everest was the one I was thinking of.
Mount Everest. We had to come up with Mount Everest on a trivia question.
Yeah, we got that wrong. I got that wrong. But yeah, so overall, France, we both came in here, Angela and I, like, not really wanted to come here, but it was a cool opportunity for the kids, which they're really having an incredible time.
Yeah, you guys have been there before, right? So you kind of know, what you're getting.
Just on both layovers, like we never stayed more than a night, and we both literally with that layover time, we're like, we're good.
We are having a great time with the kids, though.
Yes.
So a great time with the kids.
But the food, not good.
It's not like you expect it to be much better.
Yeah, like Italy, the Italian food, Italy in general, just absolutely incredible. Even Germany, the food was so much better.
Yeah.
Desserts, oui.
Yeah,
that's about it. Which JC's working on his figure, so he's probably like passing on the desserts anyway.
Oh no, I've been eating. I took a pause on the diet and working out.
Hey, but you're walking around a lot. You're working those calves out, just getting some miles on.
She just did a little calf massage, and she said, "Whoa, what is this muscle?" So I must be doing something good.
Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
We climbed the Eiffel Tower today too. So
Yeah.
that was
How do you climb it? I assume there was just like an elevator in there. You just, like,
steps.
Well, no, there's a lot of steps. They call
really?
it level 1 or floor 1 and floor 2, and it's not just like one flight of stairs up. It was probably a 10-minute climb per floor.
So 20 minutes of stairs. Yeah.
That's kind of nice. It's a nice little calf workout.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Up and down. Yeah.
So we're glad we showed up. I mean, it's 10 o'clock in Paris right now, and nobody else is here.
I was gonna say I was like worried when I was like, Angela and JC probably won't be on today because they're in Paris, and I sent the link out about 2 minutes ago because I was like, so I want to get into some home service workshop if you guys got a minute. I know it's your bedtime here, but
She might crash, but I'm here.
hell yeah. We'll see if anybody joins us. Hey, I forgot to do this. Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour. It's Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Woo woo. Usually Jai plays some music, and then I remember to talk about us. Jai's got some sound things going on. I gotta remember. Oh,
just kidding.
Still
mumble.
Yeah.
It's a mix.
It sounds like when you call an Android.
Yeah. Oh, now you guys disappeared. Where'd you guys go?
Oh, we're coming right back. I'm closing some windows here.
Oh, is your camera overheating? Over there? I know how it goes. I have I think I just saw my 12th demo show up on the schedule for this week as a result of Home Service Workshop. And so I know,
Yay!
I mean, it's like this morning was like 6:30 until it'll be 4:00, just like straight calls all day. I thought I had a break in there to work out, and one call ended up going like 2 hours and totally crunched up my workout time. But I think, and I know you guys had bigger grand expectations for the entirety of the show, and like more attendees would have been sweet, and a bigger trade show would have been sweet. There is this weird thing that, and so I want to get your guys' perspective on it and your takeaways from it. And I know JC, you were posting about, you got a lot of value out of just some of the other relationships. I don't think and there's probably more nuance to it here too. I don't think I've ever been at a show where I've had so many people interested in my service. Like bookkeeping is lame and boring, but this is really like my first go round with Best Damn Bookkeeping, with my new booth, with people now knowing I'm out doing my own thing and no longer doing the blue skies thing. And so I don't know how much of it is that, and that people are just like, oh shit, Dan's over here doing this thing. Can you believe Dan's over here doing this thing? So maybe it's a function of a little bit of awareness, if you will. But man, everybody that came by had time to talk. Like there was room to talk. It wasn't like you were just smashed 4 layers deep and you couldn't talk to everybody that was trying to talk to you. And when you talk to them, they're like, yep, I'm signing up for a demo. Like it was just boom, boom, boom. And there's probably 5 people that I know are going to sign up for a demo that just haven't done it yet. But the time is running out. But I thought that was cool. Like I said, I think I just saw either number 11 or number 12 hit this week. And then I'm gone next week in Costa Rica with the family for spring break. And then we get back and I got 5 demos the week after already. It's just like, nice. I mean, 'tis the season. But I'd say it's probably the best show I've been to in terms of active participants. Like they were there, they were engaged. You got good one-on-one conversations. There was never a time when I walked by the bar that I didn't get stuck talking to somebody and having a drink. It was hard to peel myself away. In fact, if you would believe that, what are the chances of that? And you guys know, like all the different relationships that you make, clients of mine that I've never met in person, to be able to hang out with them. Obviously getting to hang out with you guys is there's never enough time to do that. So just good to see you guys and hang out. But there's always like so many unexpected relationships that come of it. I'm curious what your guys' takeaways, and we're going into a little segment we like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so give me a little good. Let's start with the goods, and then we'll do the bads. No, let's start with the bads, because let's get those out of the way, and then we'll go into the goods, and then the uglies are just like the funny things that nobody's going to talk about, but we're going to talk about them because they're funny. What do you guys got? Any bads you want to start with?
I'll let you start.
bad. I see you're like, get the bad out of the way. We're we're glad to be done with the details, I guess. That's always the rough part of throwing a show is all of the details coming up to it. But I would say the things we thought were bad turned into a good. I mean, it just was this is our first time doing a combined show. So you didn't know how to execute, like I talk a lot about, I'm big on the choreography of an event, of the communication prior to communicating and choreographing how the speakers, the feel, the smell, the all of that. And it was different us being able to not be in a position to do that as well. So that part felt uncomfortable in the show, I guess, to me, is not being able to like control the choreography of it as well. But it all worked out. It all works out. It's all different. Like we loved at the last sales boost to like have the meal in the room, right? Like have people in this captive audience not being able to like run around and escape and be lost.
Yeah. And this was like they had all the places in the world to go escape and be lost.
Yes.
Couldn't contain anything.
So I would just say that, everything turned out, and I will echo when we'll talk about the good, like I would echo everything that you said. Like it turned out to be really great people that were there, that you got to have very intentional conversations and connections and with. We heard lots of the vendors say that, lots of the attendees say that, like that it was great. So we'll go into that. That'll just be my bad that I share. It's like I always want it to be the best possible experience, and everyone just feel like so taken care of and know where to go and all of that. And that was just more challenging.
And last year you guys crushed it at that, right? Like everybody left sales booths last year like that was the best show ever, and nobody really knew why. Like you did, but the rest of us are just mostly dumb dudes that we don't understand all the details. We feel the impact of it, but we don't understand why it was the way that it was. But you knew why. My bad. I got a bad. My bad was those training shoes that I brought down. And going for a run.
Still hurting?
No, I did. But I got back and went for like a 3-miler the other day. Now we have 10 inches of snow all of a sudden. But when I got back, we just last night we got dumped with 10. The girls are home off school because it was a snow day. But it was like 45 out 2 days ago, 45, 50 degrees. So I actually ran in my new running shoes, and that was a hell of a lot better. But running in brand new training shoes that were not quite broken in yet, so to speak. Sean Day's in the house. There he is. Found him. But man, like just every piece of my shin bones hurt. Ugh. Like that was the worst part of Home Service Workshop, was running in those things. But hey, I got 2. I don't know what did you say we went that last run? Like 3 3.75 or something?
Yeah, 3.7, I think. It was a good run.
Yeah, we did great. Yeah. The hunk himself, Jeremy Brooks, said the bad was Angela was trying to corral everyone to go into the meetings. I thought she was going to put on her unique genius ninja suit.
Ninjas.
Angela's a boss, man. You don't want to when she's got a program, you get in line, boy. Get in line.
So I got to kind of flow mine in from the bad to the good, because looking back day one, I was upset for the turnout for the speakers and the vendors, because the speakers, I mean, they're out of pocket. They're paying to show up. They're giving like their everything to come give value to all the attendees. The vendors, same thing. They're putting their money into it, paying for sponsorships to get there and to talk about their products, to provide value for the attendees, to better their business, showcase their what they're offering. Like Dan, you had a great booth, and it was really in a great location too, and they really popped. You did a good job in your brand on the booth, which is awesome.
I know some people.
So the beginning, I was like, are we showing up for the speakers and the vendors? I know we were putting in for the attendees, and after like midday, day one, I mean, it was an incredible lineup to start. Pat Clark opened it up, Angela took the stage, and Michael Burnoff. And I think, everybody loved Burnoff. He's just incredible. And all the speakers throughout the whole days, even the breakout sessions. Uh, I kept getting great feedback from everybody. Like, this is what I needed. And it made me realize that the people that needed to be there were there. And it kind of emphasizes what you were saying, like the people you talk to are the people that needed your services. So they were showing up for themselves. They weren't just attending a show just to go listen to things. They were very intentional on why they're there, whether listening to the speakers or getting connections with other people who are there. I mean, Angela and I had two incredible conversations outside the event. One just randomly in a room at the midday, like day two, that turned into be just like fire for Unique Genius. And then another one that was like 2 hours later, just randomly. On top of everything else we learned from talking to like you guys late night and everything else. So at first I was maybe a little upset with the turnout because last year was just really incredible, and this year was really incredible in a different way, especially with there being 5 shows. And I got a ton of new connections from Ryan Lee bringing Light Up Expo, which he did a phenomenal job out there. Some of the guys that Jamie brought, Responsibit, the $1 Million Academy. So I was able to bring in a different group of people into one location and just be able to make new connections and have great conversations rather than just one show, one mindset. So I think that was really a learning experience for all the showrunners to see what was possible. I think the communication could have been a little better of what the show was, but I think the execution once there uh, was a really good turnout for everybody. Other than the first day was like, who are the speakers and what are they speaking on? Like they didn't know the topics. That was really the only criticism, and I would love any bad or good criticism. Like I want to hear the bad, so how we can improve. But really, that was the only bad criticism. Like, well, we don't know what they're talking about, so we really don't know who to go speak to or listen to. But again, overall, like once the show started going, it was just one after another, and I always love the breakout sessions because it tends to be the ones that are actually not on the main stage somehow have fewer people, and you would think that like they would. And it was like the newer just coming out into the speaking world that were doing the breakout session in the other room had the most attendees, which was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, except for I was on the main stage. That was the only part that wasn't cool. Everybody
I
was
was
over.
there. I watched you.
But
I got
like
real
you said,
quick,
oh yeah, hit it, Sean.
with the speakers and stuff, you got to have a really good speaker title, like hire badasses, not dumbasses. That gets people's attention. But as far as like the breakout room, when I had my little gig, it was pretty full. But the thing that I like about the breakout room compared to the big stage is that it's more intimate, and it's like nobody turns around and rushes out the door. It's like 2 people might leave and everybody else is talking to each other or talking to me. And it's just, there's so much more relationship stuff going on. I got probably, I think 10 demos already, just from being, I was only there 2 days. I couldn't stay there that long. I was only there 2 days and I spent a half a day looking for my freaking computer. So, I mean, I got a lot out of it. And then the other thing was, if you take a look at the attendees to how Dan, how successful Dan was there as far as business, and myself on the attendees to what we got out of it ratio, there's very, very few shows we've ever attended that statistic was as good as it's been when we went there this year with your guys' shows.
I always laugh, like the huge convention will have a lot of people, but nobody's a buyer. And maybe it's because nobody wants to sign up for bookkeeping in August, but like everybody, there'll be so many people there. They all walk past you like you got 4 heads. And it's hard to engage with people in that type of scenario. In this case, it was like everybody that came by, you got to talk to them for 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
And in order to, and this is also my approach, is I don't sell anything to anybody. I don't want to sell anybody the gross. I don't want to sell stuff. I want to help people. And so I want to hear what they got going on and maybe add some value. And then if my service helps them, cool. But I don't want to sell them shit. Like but when you have 2 minutes, you feel like you got to sell people stuff. Right. But because of you got to like have this interaction and hang out with them and you got to see them like a couple nights in a row, there's just so much more value you can add and depth you can get in conversations that otherwise you just can't get at a big trade show where you feel like you're just selling people stuff. So maybe it's a style thing too. And I think getting a chance to speak is always useful, right? And JC, yeah, it's like Drew had a bigger crowd in his room for sure, but everybody that was in my room was there for the right reason. Everybody else has probably seen me speak 20 times and has maybe seen me give that talk. And so there's also that aspect of like, yeah, if you've seen me, you kind of know the same shit that I'm going to say. And you're probably sick of whether you do what I told you to or not, you're probably sick of hearing me yell at you and swear at you and drink beer in front of you. So I would go watch Drew too. But it was like everybody that was in that show came up to me afterwards and was like, oh man, like I need to do that. I downloaded that thing right away. I need to get better at that. So like, you're just, they're there, they're ready to go. You have their undivided attention and they're actually like following through instead of just like going with the flow, right? They're very intentional. So
awesome. I got two things real quick, and then Sean, we can go over it real quick. Dan, the game, the beer pong, do you feel that was an asset to your booth of drawing people in?
Nope, not at all.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And I think that was more just the energy of the crowd. Like we didn't really gamify it. Like were we giving away things? I don't know.
Yeah. Did you guys give away anything to the person that won?
Free setup. I emailed him. I don't know if he'll go or not. Oh, Michael's disappearing. Michael's falling into quicksand. Every kid's worst nightmare. Every kid's worst nightmare.
It's the worst dad joke ever.
But he, yeah, like I also didn't play it up because it wasn't a thing that was pulling people into my booth. Like I think that would be great in a trade show with a ton of people. Then you have a gimmick to like get their attention. But in a trade show with very few people, when they walk by, they want to talk to you anyway. Like most people would come by and talk and never ask what this game was. And I was like, well, I'm not going to like throw some ping pong balls around. So like it didn't add value, but it didn't attract value. And it was just kind of fun to have there anyway. So it was just we're all fidgeters, right? We're all ADD. So people would stop by and talk and start playing with the ping pong ball. So it wasn't bad that it was there. It wasn't a detractor, but I don't think it brought anybody in. It was just a little thing to screw around with when we were BSing with you.
Yeah, I can see that the huge with a larger crowd because when we went to DED, it definitely brought people in playing the game we had there, which would engage in conversation. But on the other side of that, shows are not what they were 2 years ago. They're definitely not what they were 5 years ago. I think we're going to see a huge dip in the huge this year. Literally the huge and the huge. But
huge dip in the huge.
Yeah, I don't see our industry rebounding for a few years. It's not speakers. I mean, we could put some big names on stage and they're not coming for speakers anymore. I think people just feel like there's no value in shows, and which is great because those people who think that aren't showing up, and it gives more time for people that do show up to get better connections and relationships, because there's nothing worse than having 50 people that don't want to be there. There's trying to get free swag and can't provide you value versus I don't know, there's probably 250 people that I saw through the show between the speakers, the vendors, probably a little more than that really, but regardless, there was a ton of value with those 250 people, like constant conversations. I met great relationships because of Ryan Lee, him bringing the Light It Up Expo in there, which was phenomenal. That wouldn't have had he not been there or had this opportunity. So again, I'm grateful. I just don't see it's going to take a little while for the curve to come back on the up for shows, and I don't know what that's going to take or how long it's going to be, but I know that it's not speakers that are driving people to shows anymore.
The free, I have a couple theories, but the free swag is a real thing. Like it's almost annoying when you're a vendor and you're at a big trade show and people are just like grabbing all your shit and you're like, no, this is for people that I actually want to talk to. Like I paid for these things and they're not free and I buy nice things. And so like, talk to me, grab some swag. Oh, he's probably getting a koozie and a bottle opener right now.
All the way from France.
Hell yeah, Best Damn Bookkeeping coming at you. World traveling. Oh yeah, I
did this just for you, Dan. Literally.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
There are wines in here.
Nice.
There we go.
He's
Jeff-
more talented than me.
Jeff Voss was doing that. Oh, Dave Jensen is in the house. Oh, we got Seth. We got
Oh,
Seth.
Hey, Dave. What's up, Dave?
Okay, our
Seth
wine
Gellert
fits.
Goldberg's in the house.
Our
So
wine
Seth-
fits so cute in there. Though.
Oh, that is perfect. It's like a little snuggie blanket for your wine glass. But it is annoying when people are just like swag grabbing at bigger conventions because you're like, well, there just goes $3 I'll never get back. There goes another $3 I'll never get back. And it's like, talk to me. Don't just like at CBF, we run into that a little bit, Sean, where it's like they just can't, some people just can't wait to get their free shit. Like, what do you want this shit for? Unless like it's all that's on it is my QR code. So unless you're, but I can tell you're not going to use it. You're just trying to get another free koozie. Like it's not cool unless you actually know who I am and use my shit or associate with me. Like then the Best Damn Bookkeeping koozie is just not that cool. But
I have never heard the term swag grabber, but I'm into it. Freaking swag grabbers.
I never knew swag was an acronym.
Swag, yeah.
I never knew it was an acronym for shit we all get.
Oh, I never knew that.
It's not a cool thing. It's shit we
What?
all get. Yeah.
Dang, I learned
That's
something
where-
today.
That's what it is. Like sometimes we use it like cool swag, but it's like it's just shit we all get. So anyway, take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Thank you.
Hold on. We're in the middle of a segment, so we got to get back to the segment because this is a professional radio show. And I mostly just want to hear Sean tell his story about his computer.
Oh, dude.
So we're doing the good, the bad, and the ugly for Michael and Sean, who came in a little late. This is the segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we started with the bad because we wanted to go to the good next. JC kind of paired his together. But Sean, would you please hit us with your bad? And I think I maybe did a little foreshadowing, but I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I thought I'd never have to think about this again, but let's go through it. So, like I don't get on very many rolls when it comes to travel, you know. So this was just another, you know, notch on the suitcase that my kids laugh at me about. And literally, it's like, so what happened this time when I get home, you know? So I'm flying into Miami, and I get off and grab my little roller luggage bag.
Orlando, Sean, we were in Orlando.
Is that where we were? Where'd I say we were? See, I don't
Miami.
See, this
Maybe
is why I have
that's-
trouble traveling. Yes.
Yeah, maybe that's where things started going wrong.
How do you know I didn't go to Miami and party a little bit before I hit Orlando, dude?
I know, because I
Yeah,
know.
you do know, you know. So anyway, I got all my shit. I'm on this tram thing that takes you down the road a little bit to the next part of the airport, another terminal or something.
Sean, I should correct. I know because I do your bookkeeping. So like I know everything.
That's true. So and my wife would never let me do that. So she knows I didn't do that either. So we go, there's a million people. We go out, the doors slammed, the train leaves, and I'm boogieing down the boulevard there, and I'm looking at my bag, and I look down, there's no computer there. There's no computer bag. And I've got everything. I got medication in there. I got my computer. I got my car chargers. Or phone chargers, this, that, everything. My little clicker presentation thing you need and all those. So I like wait for the thing to come back because there's nothing, you can't like fly to go get there. Okay. So it comes back and I'm like pushing people out of the way, looking at everybody to see if they got my bag. You know, it's nowhere to be found. So I find a cop on a bike and I go up to him and I'm like, dude, here's the news. And he's like,
wait. A cop on a bike inside the airport?
Inside the airport. Yes.
He wasn't on a Segway like Paul Blart, mall cop guy.
no Paul Blart.
No,
he was Paul Blart, but he was on a bike.
Oh,
So he gives me a card. Here's a QR code. Do that thing up. Thing will pop up. File a claim with lost and found. So now it's set up an account. Oh, you can't. You got to have a capital letter, an exclamation. So 20 minutes of effing around with that. I finally hit submit a millisecond before my phone died. And where's my chargers?
The bags.
Right. So now I've got to hunt down where this fucking place is. And it is in another terminal. It took me 45 minutes to find lost and found. When I'm there, after I guzzle some water and I sweating to death going like this because I need a knee replacement. So this is even, I should have knocked the fucking cop off his bike and took his bike. So I'm there. There's the window. It took 20 minutes for this little old dude to come up to the window. I couldn't understand a lick of what he was saying. So I was supposed to be at the hotel around 4:30 or 5. I get there.
We know. We were waiting for you on trivia. Like, where's John?
Right. So then, so I walk outside and do the Uber to get to the hotel roughly around 6, I want to say, or 6:30, something like that.
While you were in Lost and Found, so you went to Lost and found that your backpack wasn't there.
Right.
Were you thinking like, I wonder if there's a couple charging cords around here?
No, man, I just wrote it off. I just need to get to the hotel. I'm not scheming and scamming and planning, dude. No
shady day. You weren't doing shady day.
No, I wasn't doing shady day.
Swag grabber, man.
Swag grabber. Oh, check out this swag.
No. Years ago, I did do this when I was half in the bag at a golf course, and I said, I think I left my my Cleveland wedge here. Do you happen to have any Cleveland wedges here? And lost the phone, and I grabbed one of those. So we went to the golf. What is that big golf place you go to? What is that?
Top Golf.
Top Golf.
What is Top Golf?
And I joked around with my buddy that was there and said, hey, man, you think maybe I lost a few clubs here too and I can go find them because they sell clubs there. Anyway, so I get there and I have to go get a charger. My phone's dead.
You're at the hotel now. You finally
I'm at the hotel. I go to the gift shop. I'm like, I need a charger for an iPhone. He gives it to me. He's only got one. It's the USB thing, which is fine. I go in the room and click it in the USB port. Doesn't work. Go to the next one. Doesn't work. Go to the next one. Doesn't work. So now I'm not sure. I wish I had a computer because I'd throw it through the fucking wall, but I didn't have my computer to throw through the wall. So I called down to the desk and I asked, hey, can I get another room? No big deal. Or do you have a charger? That would solve my problem. I'll send the maintenance guy up. He'll be up there real soon. An hour later, I call to ask where Julio is to come up to my room and fix the fucking port, right? So half hour, he shows up. It is now 7:30. I have not had a bite to eat since 6:30 in the morning. I get a little cranky when I'm starving to death.
Just a
so
demon.
I'm trying to control myself. Yeah. So he gets up there to sit there for 2 minutes, put some things in these USB ports to let me know they don't work. All right.
Just to
Thanks for confirming, Julio.
So I'm not sure if I should order room service because I don't know if I'm going to be in this room much longer. Number one, I can't leave because I want to get. So he says I'll be back in 15 minutes. I just have to grab one thing. An hour later, I call down there and I say, where in the fuck is this guy at? I don't act like this normally. I hate being this way, but we got a fucking problem. I need to figure out how to eat something and how to charge a phone. Okay. Oh, our records show he's been up there, Mr. Day. I don't know what you're talking about. I know, but he left and he hasn't come back.
That's True story. True story. Sean was as red as the color he is right now at this point.
Oh, dude, true story. Yeah. A very long story, a little bit shorter. I got another room, which I asked for 5 hours previous to that. And I got another room and it was 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 before I got into that room.
Did you get anything to eat?
Yeah, I finally ordered room service. And I ate 2 cheeseburgers and a bunch of French fries.
There you go. Nailed it. That was the bad.
That's my story.
If your phone was charged, you could have called us. We would have helped you.
The good news is the show went great, and there's a lot of good people in the world still because my computer and my bag showed up with everything in it, and I went and got it.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. That's the crazy part to me.
I think so.
It eventually made it to Lawson. Who knows? That's just one of those things where it's like you kind of wish there was like a camera on your backpack and you got to see all the places that it went without you.
Well, yeah, I think that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you have a Mac or just a Windows?
Windows.
Yeah, see, that's why they didn't want it. So they said, "Here, we'll bring it out."
It all makes sense now.
A
Of
Mac,
course.
a Mac,
A Mac would have been sold to
I
Julio,
can't.
and
I
Julio.
can't.
and a Mac would also have told you where it was going. You would have been able to follow it around.
No, his phone was
Yeah,
dead.
not with his dead phone. Not with his dead phone.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this a segment where we tell Sean how he should have behaved and what he should have done? All right. I see how you operate.
No,
That's a new
it's
segment.
I had to get Mike.
It's just a
I
Mac.
had to get
It's
Michael.
just a Mac seg. We're just making fun of Michael, really.
I gotta go. This is crazy.
Sean.
Yeah.
Man, Sean, you're a trooper. At any point where you're just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna get a new computer," it's like dead to me.
I did it. I texted Dan after I charged my phone and told him I'm going to Walmart at 6 a.m. because that's when it opens to buy a bunch of shit, which I just returned last night.
Did they
in
take
Ohio.
it all back? They took it all back?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Walmart for that. Yeah,
I
they'll
didn't
take-
have the box. They said you got to have the box, and I said, well, that's not around. But I did keep all the shit inside it, and I kept the computer, obviously. And they said you need the box because of the serial number. And I said, well, here's something new. There's a serial number on the bottom of the computer, and my receipt has a serial number too.
Something new.
So they took it back.
Why my Walmart stock went down today?
Yep, that's what Walmart down. Rob is out there in a storm, according to what he typed in.
Storm.
Storm.
Oh wow.
It's a lot
Yeah.
like it's a lot like a storm, but
It's so bad he can't even spell.
yeah, it's glitchy. It's real glitchy
Hey,
out
I got a demo I got to go on because of your guys' show. So I'm out of here because I got to hop on this thing at 4:45.
Send
Hey,
that
I'm
commission
glad-
check. We love you.
there. Yeah, I'm
Love
glad
you
we
guys.
got
Too.
that. It was worth every bit of that story. Jesus Christ, that's hilarious. Only Sean. That only happens to Sean. That was great.
Michael,
Hey.
you're up, buddy.
Yeah, Michael, you got a bad. We're doing bads first, mostly because they're funnier than the goods. You got a bad. You got a bad from the home service workshop.
A bad?
Yeah, we're doing good, bad, and ugly. We're just starting with the bads first.
I don't like I like to be such a positive person. Like, so I'm like,
Oh, we're gonna do the
my
goods.
room smelled like mildew, and the first 2 nights I was there, I kept dreaming that I was getting sick, and I'd wake up and I'm like, and I'm like, nope, it just stinks in here. That's all it is. So that's all it was. And I asked people around that also had commoner rooms, unlike the VIPs, and I was like, does your room stink? And like, yeah, Orlando just stinks. So
I
that was
suppose
the
it's like high humidity, high moisture, everything's
just-
wet all the time.
stinky. It sounded like somebody
Yeah.
like just was in the room for a month
Extra
before me
room.
and had the same towels on the floor all over the place for the month. And then I got in the room an hour later. That's what it smelled like.
Now, Rob and I's room smelled pretty bad. Rob wouldn't know it. He can't smell shit, which is why I told him, I was like, Rob, I think the reason you and I are like best buddies is because you can't smell. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
He
we're-
can't smell. He's just so
Doesn't
drunk, it
bother
doesn't
me.
matter.
it doesn't bother him. Like, we're in the fish house, and I'll lay down the worst fart in the world, and he has no idea. We'd be sharing a hotel room. I'll take the worst dump in the world. He has no idea. He has no idea.
Bleach is a hell of a drug.
Man,
Never had a sense of smell.
never. Rob in a
Nope.
storm. Oh, you corrected your typo.
I don't know.
You've
It was
never
more
had a
fun than
sense of
expected.
smell?
Nope. I grew up and like when I was like 8 or 9, I was like, "Hey, Mom, I don't think I can smell anything." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "When we're like driving down the road and you're like, oh, somebody hit a skunk," I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." I couldn't smell anything. I had no idea what was going on. It's like you just don't realize. So it's a good thing. But I was
No drafts.
Joe Devino said, "I need Rob's nose for savers." He and I are going on a fishing trip again in August, and he's worried. He's worried.
Can you taste, Rob? Can you taste?
yeah, I can still taste.
Those go together. Okay, interesting.
I don't know what I'm missing though. Like I can definitely why like I hate IPAs and wine doesn't appeal to me at all. But the other thing I would say, if I had a sense of smell, and you guys already know that I go through some people, man, there would be some very quick firings instead of, "Hey Rob, I think so and so smells like weed right now." If they came in and I smelled them, oh cool, Jimmy, you decided to drink before coming to work. Bye. like instantaneous versus like, all right, well, I need 2 witnesses that aren't motivated to make up crap about you that you smell like you've been drinking or whatever else.
Yeah, it buys them a couple
Like,
extra days
nope.
before you fire them.
My personal opinion, you're drunk instead of just being
question
dumb
from
today.
3 people who currently own or have owned home service businesses. You have a technician that comes into work and actively smells like marijuana. Are you going to let them drive your vehicle, or are you going to fire them immediately? What are you going to do? They come in, they're about to take the truck out, and you're like, you're about to leave, you smell like that? What are you going to do?
Send them home for the day.
Send them home? Okay, maybe not immediate termination.
Not immediate termination. It's not illegal in Minnesota, but I wouldn't.
Like, you're about to get in my service vehicle and drive.
Yeah, just like if you were drunk, I'd send you home and it'd be like a 1-strike policy. Like, don't do that again.
Okay.
You're done. You're home today. If you do it again, you're done.
Okay. JC?
I allowed it for too long because, I mean, they don't need to be there. And unless you have a written policy on them not smoking, like, kind of hard to enforce it too. But yeah, like, I'll be guilty and say that I allowed it for too long because I needed those people.
Okay.
I did too before I got good at recruiting, because I would just get held hostage all the time.
Yeah.
Like, they knew I couldn't replace them. So
Well, I asked the question. Yeah, because somebody who's not in that position, it's easy for me to sit on my throne and be like, fire them. They're worthless. But
yeah,
you've been there in that situation. I haven't, which is why I asked the question. Thank you for your answer.
What's the situation? Do we have somebody we're firing? I'll call him right now.
Me personally? No. I mean, I don't have a service.
You have no
vehicle to
vehicles.
fire somebody. Yeah. No, but the situation is there is an employee of an organization that is notorious for maybe participating in the green stuff a little bit too often. And there may be times when they are under the influence.
Is it Seth Goldberg? Is it Seth Goldberg? Do we need to fire Seth from his own business?
No, it's actually Seth's lead tech. I'm just kidding, Seth. It's not.
Yeah, but if Seth is his dealer, is it the lead tech's fault?
Oh, yeah. Now we're getting. I was just trying to get the perspective of 3 people who like literally deal with this every day. So that's all it was.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what the right answer should be. But I think far too often we get too lenient or just don't have strict policies in place that are enforced. And, you want to be the cool guy sometimes. I'm not saying that was me. I just fucking let it happen. I'm just being honest.
I've never been the cool guy, so I don't know that I've ever wanted to be the cool guy because I don't know what I'm missing. Well,
I'm just saying, like, Glass Castle, Coach Michael, never been in that situation before. It's easy to say fire them, right?
Yeah.
The answer really is, I mean, think about the liability, right? You're letting somebody drive a car that is under the influence of something, and they now something goes wrong. I had knowledge of somebody getting to a vehicle when they were impaired under my business, my insurance. Something happens, then what? That's the approach that I had. Is
it ain't gonna be pretty?
Yeah.
So I gotta.
Go ahead.
Dan, you say it's legal in wherever you are, Wisconsin, Minneapolis. I don't know where you are anymore.
Did you not watch the promo video of when I was fishing in Wisconsin, and I was like, we're actually Minnesota, and then from Australia, you never really know where you are.
I mean, what happens if you get pulled over and they smell it on you? Are they arresting you? I mean, what are they doing?
I don't know because I don't partake. I'm not really sure.
So
I don't know.
DC, we dealt with that. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we dealt with that. We had a guy. I have never smoked weed in my life. Probably never will. One of the guys was like, dude, somebody's got weed on the truck. So I go in and like I just went ahead and straight up looked in his bag and see like ball about the size of a quarter and nickel. And I was like, all right, sweet. So this is what weed looks like. And then I'm like, all right. I went over to DOT and they're basically it's a DUI.
Yeah.
That you have that on the truck. Like it's instant termination, at least $1,000 fine from Department of Transportation. And they don't it's the same thing as if I have a handle of Jack Daniels next to me in the truck. Like,
do you have a handle of Jack Daniels next to you in the truck?
I might have a little mini somewhere in the trunk, but not accessible.
Handle.
No. But that's the crazy thing. And then for us knowing, like the crazy part about it is like the guy who was driving, he's former law enforcement officer. And he's like, dude, this other guy just says, well, it's not my bag, then it's got to be his bag. So now all of a sudden the driver who doesn't have the drugs on him is now getting blamed for that. And it was a whole thing. And it's like, dude, at that point, they're not respecting you to bring them on. And we just had to make it really clear about, like, you're jeopardizing the company.
Yeah.
You're putting us all at risk, and I'm not going to tolerate that. So, yeah.
So don't bring the dime bag on the truck. Moral
No doubt.
story.
Yeah, bring a nickel bag next time.
Yeah, it's a nickel. Yeah.
I'd say bring a penny bag, but pennies are
They're
going out
gone.
of
They're gone. Yeah, they're out of service.
We got to get so we're doing the good, the bad, and ugly. We did the bads. JC already kind of gave his good. Rob, do you, before we get too far, you got a bad? Do you have any bad from the home service workshop?
My bad for it would be probably the lack of people. I wish that there was, like, I felt like last year there was so many of, like, my people and, like, all of our, like, all the big name friends and whatnot, just like half of them were gone this year. So many people just weren't there for it. And the only other bad, like, that really sticks out to me was those box lunches. The Hawaiian chicken sucked. That thing was horrible. So the good would have been that there people, like, apparently leave coolers of alcohol around and, like, just know the right people to donate them to. Actually, that could be also a bad. It wasn't given to us sooner, so we could really.
Did you guys
hammer
kill
it.
those, by the way? That was a lot of beer.
So now this is a good transition into my good. Oh, Joe Rubino checking in. Joe, good to hear from you, Joe. I ran into Joe down at Home Service Workshop, as a matter of fact. I said he had one employee bring a 6-pack of beer in his lunchbox, and he had that was a sandwich every day. I had to tell him stop doing that, and he ended up quitting. That's hilarious.
That's a good lunchbox.
Yeah, I just got my
Right.
every day
You
when
gotta
I
keep the sandwich cool.
Yeah, you do.
No, but on that, one of the guys I know, he worked for a painting company, and he's like, guy comes back and he smells like beer and whatnot. And he's like, dude, were you just drinking? He's like, yeah, I was on my lunch break. And, like, just he walks back in and, like, clocks in, like, what do you mean, man? I was off the clock. I can drink.
Drinking makes me paint better.
No, you can't.
Either beer or I cut my ear off. What do you want?
If painting is like bowling, I think 3 to 5, then you're, like, right in the zone. If painting is at all like bowling.
Yeah. Well, that's what your average painter is. Yeah.
Good to hear from you, Joe. Thanks for checking in, man. My good is it brings these coolers into effect. Like, level 1 of the good was that, like, you guys, when you put the word out for that, like, hospitality suite is what I'll call it, that was a blast. You had a ton of good people in there, tons of good conversations, and it was like you had to kick people out. It just kept going, right? And so, like, kudos to you guys for, like, making that happen. I made a couple good relationships just in that room, and probably got a couple clients out of those relationships. So that was awesome. And then when I went on to speak for, and I think you guys will all appreciate this, like, having been on stage and speaking, you don't crush it every time. And it's hard to, there are times where you go up there and you're like, I fucking nailed that. And it's hard to decipher exactly what it was sometimes. Like, you're looser, you're goofier, you make better jokes, the timing is better. And so, like, I have presentations I've given before, and sometimes I nail it and sometimes I don't. Like, and it's kind of like hosting a podcast too. Sometimes we do this episode and I'm like, that wasn't my best. Sometimes we do it and I'm like, I fucking nailed that one. Like, because hosting is this, you can't take it back, right? Like, once you're hosting a show, it is on you to make the flow go and have the right people on and like engage in that conversation. And it's not, and like, you know it and you feel it when you're not crushing it. And you're like, man, I just don't have it today for whatever it is. We had to juggle my time on Ryan's show. I ended up, like, he and I had solved this, but one of us screwed up, and it doesn't matter who did. I don't even know. But, like, we had solved it because I was doing a hacking room at Responsicon, and then I was speaking at the Lighted Up Expo. And then I said, hey, Ryan, I think I'm on, Friday. I think it was on Friday morning. I was like, I think I'm on at 1:30. He's like, no, you're on tomorrow. And then we looked and it was like, oh shit, I'm on tomorrow, right when I'm supposed to be doing this hacking room. So we ended up moving stuff around, and, like, we freaking like bookended with me. Like, oh great, Dan Plott is closing
The
down.
closer.
Oh, I'm the last speaker of the last speaker of the last speaker with bookkeeping. Let's let's kill this thing with a bang. But we had a couple coolers full of beer. Is what we did.
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw the crack. I did see the crack.
Did you see
That
the
was pretty
crack?
cool. Yeah.
So and like people were kind of like grabbing some beers as we went here. Danny, shut the door, please. My kids are home. Snow day. No, like you get out. No, like don't get out of here and shut the door. Oh, look at your see-through. Look at
Hello.
you're like invisible with that.
Invisible.
Is that the blue or the gold dress? Remember that dress? Like, is it blue or gold?
Oh yeah, good question.
Yeah.
It's fuzzy. It's a fuzzy dress.
I'm
What it is.
see-through.
You're see-through. But so we had the coolers full of beer, which is always a win. Like that gets everybody motivated to like stay for the last hour of a bookkeeping dude yelling at him and drinking beer in
But
front
did
of
you
him.
give a shout out to Unique Genius for donating the beer? I don't think so.
I did. I
Oh, you
did.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like, hey,
Oh.
thanks to JC and Angela for the hospitality suite, and we get to like reap all the what?
I did it for my homework.
I'm doing my homework right now. This is for a fist bump. Is that the weird thing that you're looking at? Is it's called my fist.
Mwah.
Thank you. But so got up there and I was like, hey, I have an obligation as the last speaker of the day. I have an obligation to like not put you to sleep talking about the most boring topic in the world next to insurance, aka bookkeeping. And you all have an obligation to get your asses over to those two coolers and grab a beer. And don't open it yet because we're gonna do the crack. And so we coordinated to get everyone on the count of three to and that was awesome.
It
Like,
was good. I mean, I heard it. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty badass. But I fucking nailed that one. Like,
Nice.
like sometimes you have your game, sometimes you don't. Like I delivered. We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of fun. It was Angela's favorite talk. It was the Purgatory's talk.
Yeah,
And-
that is my favorite talk of yours.
It was fun. We had a lot of laughs. It was a cool way to like close out the show. And I had the classic, like when you get done and like you get cornered by a bunch of people, which you always love as a speaker, even when you have to go somewhere, but like 20 people want to talk to you. Then I was just standing at the beer cooler, like drinking a beer with people that, again, like were very engaged, wanted to talk, wanted to be like, oh, I got this going on, I got that going on. So that was good for me. It was such a good close to be able to bookend it and be the last speaker up for Ryan and do the cooler thing. What's funny is I'm talking to all three of you guys and you're all on your phones right now, you freaking millennials.
It's not a bit fun a video.
You're
I'm messaging Jai, who said his stream is frozen.
I was trying to look at the word that I wanted to ask you because you said purgatory and then it messed you up because I needed to know how many times who won the bet for saying
Perennium.
perennium.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who won.
Did you not? Were you not in on it? You didn't
No,
say
it's just
it.
Jimmy and Kenny.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah,
Dan said he was going to ring it out and say it more than them with his speech.
Yeah, I didn't say it at all.
Hmm.
I should have.
Michael missed that whole conversation, but
Yeah, I don't know where I would have woven it in, weaved it.
Jimmy evidently said it a ton of times in his talk on Friday without even really knowing what it meant.
Well, then it's even more fun. What Angela, give us a good. What do you got for a good?
So I kind of wove my bad into good as well. Like it's that it was tricky, hard for me for it not to be choreographed. Rob said like they'll lunch it. I mean, yeah, we were just like, ugh.
There's just little details like that we would have.
Yeah.
Not again. I can't take away from the success of the show because a lot of people put a lot of effort into making it a huge success.
But it ended up the right people of the right without that. So that was my good of yours. Like it ended up the right people in the right room. We got some amazing time with both of you guys. And when we were trying to run a bigger show and it's crazy and I'm doing all the choreography, then we don't get to do any of those moments.
Let's say last year at Sales Boost, I don't think I saw you much. I got to
Yeah,
hang out
she
with
was-
JC a little bit when he
Yeah,
was when he came to the arcade. Other than that, like didn't really get to see either.
Exhausted,
Out and
drained.
nothing and no conversations. And so we got to be a lot more intentional with being able to be with you guys, and everyone did. Like you said, it was a smaller group. So everyone that was there, the speakers got to hang out with other speakers and have conversations. So everything was more meaningful. Everything was more meaningful, I think, for the attendees, for the speakers, for the vendors. And it just was like a proof of what we say all the time, like show up, and these conferences can change your life because of the connections and the conversations that you have. And I think going into it, I'm like, okay, we're gonna know everyone there. And even though you do, we met some. I mean, we did meet a few new people, but just the conversations that you have, it just is every time.
So I want to quickly like piggyback off of Rob's bad, and trust me, it bothers me that. So we did one day of a hot lunch on Wednesday, one day of a cold lunch, the box lunch, which we were not happy about. But I don't think attendees realize how much it costs to put on a show, especially if you're showing up for free. Like just in food alone for 2 days for two people, like for just one person, our out of pocket cost, like just our cost was 130 something dollars and change just for 2 meals there. Like it sounds outrageous, but
That's what they charge you.
that's what it cost at a show for a freaking box lunch. And we did a hot meal one day. It was $130 and change. It might have been a little bit more than with taxes, but like it's not like it's like $12. Oh, they
Yeah.
just chose to skimp out. Like I promise you, if it was $12, we would have been doing like filet mignons and shrimps and everything like that. Like the hotels just destroy you when it comes to food and drinks. So it was 100 and whatever I said, $130 and change just for food for one person for 2 days.
It's nuts.
That feels cheap too compared to where you
for
were.
what we did, and that was for this one. Like sales boost last year,
Oh, forget about it. No.
Oh,
the
yeah.
cost of
Yeah.
2 meals, a snack, and drinks. I mean, we were like,
Yeah, I was like, that sounds cheap from where you were. Like we went to dinner at JC Angela, and I was like, how much is this? It was so cheap. And I was like, I'll buy it. I got it. It was like $11. Like, yes. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like where we were located. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the actual expense. They think like, oh, it's a big money maker, but I mean, like the hotels take you for every penny, for every light in the room, for every microphone. Like a microphone costs 100 and blah 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 per day per speaker. Like add that up, and it's insane. So it's like we want to go above and beyond, and it might seem like they're not delivering, but I promise you, like we're just tapped out.
Well, and like you said, I actually talked to Kurt a little bit about this from Response a bit and ResponseCon is trade shows get less and less attended. Like you said, they're not there for the speakers, and they're not there for the speakers because we're all speakers, and they get us right now, and they could jump in and ask us a question right now. Like we're all very accessible. We could play coy and not be accessible, but that's like against our nature to hide and not help and not answer questions and whatever. And so, yeah, we like to go and speak, but they also get to hear from us all the time. And so I think trade shows are getting a little less and less valuable as more people are getting digitized and building their brand that way, that we're accessible. And like if somebody shoots me a Facebook message, I'm gonna get back to them with like a one-on-one and like give them a thought today. And so like, do they need to come see me, or should they just shoot me a message on Facebook? I don't know. But I think there's something of that nature with like speakers, and that used to be the place to go see them, find them, whatever. And now if I want to talk to JC, I'm just going to message him and find him. And he's probably going to talk back because he's a nice dude. Right. So I think there's just like some of that going on. It's so accessible. And I think especially with ResponseCon, like we don't need to all go to a hotel, right? We don't need to pay for meals. We don't need to pay for the travel. We can just do that digitally and screen share. And not that that's good or bad, but like if you just did it as a digital, like quarterly event, people would jump on and do hacking rooms all the time working on stuff.
However, yes, you can. But again, let's take back. You can do that digitally, but you're not going to get the conversations that you're having outside of that. I mean, Michael, we had just tremendous conversations. What, Thursday night, Friday night, whatever night before we went to Comic Club in the room, like the four of us and Jonathan, like just incredible like conversations. Dan, I mean, the conversations we had when we're freaking getting knocked down by security, like to get out, like that was like literally security's knocking on the door an hour and a half after everybody left. Like I heard there's noise going on in the room. Like, no, you can't even hear us outside. But like you will not get that digitally. You can't get that online. You can't get that watching at YouTube. And just feeding information through a video or whatever it is, like it's not the same as connecting with people. Like even with anybody on stage speaking, like when you're sitting in an audience, you feel differently when they're talking to you. Like the emotions and the way you receive things are completely different than watching it through a screen or your phone. Like it's just you're gonna listen more, especially if you're paying to go to the event too. But there's just so much more value added to attending and having engagement with people than just, okay, let's just do this. Now put my mute on and be on my phone,
Yep.
It's to me, it's the connection and the experience, right? It's like going to Cancun the last 3 years with the collective. It's like, we going. It's like, it's not because we're sitting in that room, everything we got. It's because the after hours, the face-to-face, the connection we get, and the experience of just being there with our family and our friends and our people just for 3, 4, 7 days, whatever it is, like that, you can't replace that. And so I agree with everything you said, JC. And to your point, Dan, like I think there's a point in time for a hacking room when you get like people together, but you're not getting the same experience you are as you're going to a destination. And I'm seeing this with like EO and other organizations that it's like 7-figure agency in Miami right now. You go to this destination where it's fun, it's exciting, it's the nightlife and everything you're doing. That's why we do these things now. And your virtually can be something, but if you're going to go to Sales Boost and it's in, no offense to anybody that lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but it's not going to have the same draw as Miami is, something like that.
You mean Orlando? Wait, did you end up in Miami with Sean? No, and I'm not saying we should do it that way. I'm just saying I think that's what's happening. Right?
No, and to the flip side, Dan, I think that is needed for flow. But Michael, what you're saying too, like big shows in this industry, dead, smaller, intimate.
Yeah.
Like
business owner outdoor badasses, aka
boobs. Yes.
Boobs.
Like let's get 20 people in a room to put money in there that want to be there for the right reasons and do things outside of just talk about like business
and bring in some badasses. Yep.
Talk about life, fitness, health, all those things that we should be talking about. Like that's the room I want to be in now. Like,
yeah,
same.
It's gonna be a shift in the rooms that you want to be in as you grow your business. And there's nothing.
Can I be one of those 20 people, JC?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Where are we going? We're going to the Boundary Waters. Going to nice. We go elk hunting in the mountains. Yeah.
I would die so fast in the Boundary Water.
No, I'll carry you out.
Yeah.
I'll tie a rope to you, Michael. I got you. Angela didn't want my rope.
And really quick, while we're on the end of this live, I got to go in a second. Angela, I didn't respond to your text yesterday because I had to ask permission from my team, but I got the answers and I'll respond to you.
Okay.
Booyah. You heard it happen.
I promised them. I think I told JC and Angela at dinner. I was like, I can't promise things for my team anymore without like talking to them because I just like, oh yeah, we'll do that. Oh sure, whatever. And I got like 13 projects. I'm like, hey guys, do all these things, and you can just see the look on their face, like just again,
Michael, again.
I've learned. I'm growing up.
Y'all. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. Home Service Happy Hour brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping, Unique Genius, Click, Call, Sell. Higher Lead Chill. Sean Day was here. You guys saw him. Told the funniest story on the damn show. God, that story's so funny. Just classic
laptops.
Classic Sean.
Should have had a Mac. Well, good thing he didn't have a Mac, or would have been gone.
Or charge your phone before you leave the airport.
That too. Easier said than done. We all are leaving
Guilty.
the airport. Like, yeah.
Guilty.
Oh shit. Where's this trip? I was like, where's my battery pack? It's in all my hunting stuff. That's where it is. It wasn't in my backpack. Anyway, normally Jai would play some music, but his audio is being all goofy, so he's gonna put it in later. And maybe like right now, as I'm saying this, there's gonna be some play out music. I don't know. You'll know when you listen to the podcast later. Until then, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride.
And drink.
And have a couple. Hey, Grandma Jane is on. She said hi, Danny. She's talking to my kiddo.
See you guys.
Grandma Jane. See y'all. Peace out. Is it good? Is it just as good? No. Okay. Peace.